Welcome to Degrees of Separation, a podcast where we journey to learn how we are connected and who we are connected to.
It gives us at least a glimpse of how connected we all are.
From entrepreneurs and small business owners to difference makers and thought leaders throughout our communities. This is Degrees of Separation with Joshua Peacock and Daryl DJ Sales.
Hey, what it is, what it do, man. We back off in this thing one more time, man. It's your host, Elder Joshua Peacock.
And your boy Daryl DJ Sales.
Yes, sir, man. This is Degree Separation where we come to find out who we're connected to and how we're connected to them, man. We're going to let DJ go ahead and just take lead on this one.
All right. We definitely have a special guest for you guys tonight. You know, just a part of the family, man. Friend of mine, you know, by way of Facebook, you know, when you actually utilize it for networking, you know, I don't want to give too much away. You know, a very accoladed woman. I'm just gonna introduce her, and we're gonna let her go. I'm introducing to you guys none other than the one, the only Raven Gaines.
I wish we had a live studio for it to be like that. But one day y'all will get there.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're going to hold on to that. We're going to take that. We're going to put that word. We're going to tuck it.
Yes.
And when it happens, we calling you.
Exactly.
Yes. We definitely gonna get to it, man. It's up from here. But so a little bit about yourself, Miss Gaines. You know, where did your journey start?
Well, my journey started in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's where I'm born and raised and everything like that. South Florida, exactly. Yeah. So I ended up at FAMU, and that's where I majored in journalism and all that. I always say college is where my real life journey really began. I don't really even count high school and all that because I didn't like high school and all that. But, you know, that I really feel like college is where I became, you know, Raven. I really came into myself, you know. So.
And my bad.
One thing I like about college, I went to E-Dub, by the way. You know what I'm saying? E-Dub.
Edward Waters?
Yes, ma'am.
I got into there, and I was gonna go there. One of my friends from school hate when I tell this story because I was gonna go there, and one of my brothers went there for a semester, and then he switched. But I was gonna go there because FAMU was taking forever with my acceptance letter. So my parents it's looking like Edward Waters, and I'm like. Okay. But they have grown. Shout out to they're doing a lot. It's a lot of good people.
When I was there,
I can't say that I've even seen that place.
You ain't never been.
Have you been to Jacksonville?
Yes, I go there often. Believe it or
not, you've seen it. You
go
probably
down King Road, man. You've seen
it. Kings Road. Yes.
You see the churches and the checkers right there.
Yes.
You know, that's right.
Yeah, you go right past. It ain't big, but
yeah.
You
probably didn't notice it, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, I've been to Jacksonville hundreds of times, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one thing about college is, you know, you get to be whoever you want to be, and people have to take your word for it. So if you have something about your past or whatever,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter. You can
take your word.
They got to take your word for it.
I can take your word for it.
They got to until they get to know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very true.
I think about what is it, like Kevin Hart when he was like, listen, if I pop the trunk, you know, he's talking about if he got to do a fight at the club, man, you got to take my word. If I pop the trunk, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, you got to take my word for it. That's funny.
Got to take my word.
That's funny. But I understand what you're saying about, you know, how you found yourself at family. I'll say family, but FAMU. You know, so I can relate to that.
Mm.
But you said journalism. Now, was journalism your first and only major?
Yeah, journalism was my first and only major, but it wasn't the original thing I wanted to do at first.
Okay.
Yeah, like because growing up, when a school that I went to, I would be in their fashion program, and I learned how to sew. Like that's another thing a lot of people don't know about me. I really do know how to sew. Like I can sew things
Mhm.
from beginning to end, because I was in a fashion
You
program.
still so?
Not now, but I do know how to. Like
Okay.
if I cut on the machine, I do know how to sew. A lot of
Okay.
Like, I
people,
mean, you just make a full shirt if somebody
yeah,
wanted
I
to.
can make a shirt. I've made blankets for my nieces and nephews before. I've made skirts. I've made bathing suits because that was all part of the program. So originally, I did want to first go to New York City out of high school, and I did get into NYU, but it was so expensive. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am the last out of nine children,
Oh,
and I was the only child that didn't go to fam. Everyone else they went to other schools or they did other things,
Mhm.
but yeah, my parents they were like, yeah, NYU's expensive and it's out of state, we can make it work, but we're not gonna make it work. So you have to go to fam, and like I mentioned, fam was taking forever to send me my acceptance letter. That's why I was
Yes.
considering Edward Waters, but yeah, I have no regrets on going to fam. But when I first got to fam, I did not know what I wanted to major in there. I did look into criminal justice first because I'm like, oh, I could be a cold case detective because I don't think anyone's murders or anything like that should go unsolved
right.
forever. I think
Yes.
families and stuff should always know their answer. And my dad, he majored in criminal justice at FAM when he was there. And I have a brother that majored in criminal justice at Florida State. So, I was like, it makes sense, but I'm also kind of a little paranoid. So I know that the cases would have made me come home and be paranoid because I know how my dad is. Like he has an alarm set on everything we own. He's a very paranoid man. He's safety first, always look behind
Yeah.
you, left and right. So I'm just like, I don't want to be that paranoid. And I remember one of my friends during my summer semester, my freshman year, he said, well, since you like to talk a lot and you're into Wendy Williams and the whole celebrity gossip thing, why don't you just major in journalism? At the time, I didn't even know FAMU had a journalism program. I didn't know they had radio. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything. Like, I was clueless. But when I would grow up and go to homecomings, I'm not looking at stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I got into journalism. So I just majored in that, and that was the same major all 4 years, and I stuck to it. And, it really helped shape me into who I am today.
In journalism, is a lot of
Man.
writing.
There is a lot of writing in the beginning, but they get you more ready for the on camera and production stuff. It's a lot of people that go into writing, but it's a lot of people that don't go into writing.
Okay.
Writing for me, I would have done it, but it would have had to be like entertainment based, like it would have Essence magazine,
Right.
Teen Vogue, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But writing's cool though.
Not
It is but you have to
not
know
like
how to really
TMZ.
write, huh?
Not like
TMZ.
TMZ.
No, TMZ. I love TMZ and I would love to work for them one day, but that's more blog based writing. Like real
Yeah.
writing like this will get you ready for like the New York Times, the Washington
Oh, I get
Post,
you.
the LA Times, like real printed magazines,
Mm-hmm.
newspaper articles. And there's a
Mm-hmm.
difference with writing and journalism. It really is. So mhm.
Wow, dope. Okay, man. Because I'll be honest, man. Like, I don't think I've never. I didn't change my major,
Major.
but
What was your major?
I majored in music ed.
Music. Okay, okay. Music.
But like, I wanted to initially. I wanted to go for theology,
Yeah.
obviously. FAMU had philosophy and religion, which in all honesty, like once I left and I went on and did my thing. I'm still studying.
Hmm.
I felt like I'm like, man, I should have just went on ahead and did it because I'm like really interested in it now. When it's like I want to go back to school for it, but I don't think I made a bad decision though by going to school for music ed. I got what I needed from it, and that's that. It just ran its
Yeah.
course.
Hmm.
But so you go to school for journalism, and out of college, any internships or where does your path lead you next?
Yeah, my summer semester before I graduated, that was a summer internship in New York through Cooney School of Journalism in New York City. It wasn't a paid internship, but we were able to, work with the New York Times, New York Post, other news stations there to kind of get a feel. That program was more of the writing part versus the
Mhm.
production and on camera. So that program really did help me enhance my writing skills because they would, and this was in the middle of like Trump's first year. So I'm in New York City and the Trump Hotel is, right up the block. And they're like, oh, go get people's, what do they think about, Trump? And I think that was when his son's emails had like got leaked or something like that was going on. But they were like, yeah, go down
Mhm.
to, the Trump Hotel and, get some reactions and stuff. And, these are real people's, reactions, write up a story, 2,300 words and, keep it moving. I need it done in an hour, so you try
Shit,
writing 2,300 words in 1 or 2 hours,
I quit.
but
I
right,
got it. I quit.
right, right. But it's easier than people think because,
Wait,
you
what?
remember. Yeah, 2,300 words in about 2 hours. So that program really did help me enhance my writing skills and stuff. And it wasn't a paid internship. I had to pay to go there. My parents had to pay like $7,000 for me to get into that program. And I was the only black person in that program.
Wow.
So it was just me. Yeah, it was just me. And it was a lot of international students. Like a lot of people came from like India, China. So I met a lot of different people from different places.
That's good.
Colombia, my roommates and stuff was Indian, and she was actually the first girl I realized how rich Indians are and people
Oh
in
yeah.
India,
Of
because
course.
I remember when I was staying with her, she would always just like leave her food out, drop her towel places, and I'm thinking to myself, who do you think gonna clean this up? And I told her, I said, why do you keep dropping your towel? She's like, oh, I forgot the maid's not here, and I'm like,
Wow.
it's she sure not,
Wow.
you
So
know,
used to it.
so yeah, because she was just so used to it, but they were the sweetest people. I have them on social media to this day, and I keep in contact with them. But most of them they did go on to be like journalists, like in their countries and stuff. But they wanted to come over and show like and know the American way to do it. So it was cool meeting people from like Japan, China, Tokyo, the Middle East, Colombia. It was really no real Americans in there. It was like maybe only three of us, and the rest were
What?
them. Yeah, so it was cool.
I think journalism is like, I don't know, like I don't not I don't know. I think people would. I thought that that would be like a major that people would enjoy.
They enjoy it
Like
because
just
it's fun parts of journalism and it's hard parts. I think people who do like the CNN and the big Fox networks and stuff and just reporting like the real hardcore stuff, that is very
yes,
hard. Like that's very hard to keep up with because you have to be, serious. But I like more calm journalism. I like opinionated journalism, and I like entertainment journalism. Like I always tell people, like in college, like I used to tell my mom all the time, like I hate politics. Like I think politics is
yeah,
boring, but the older I get, it is very important. That your voice is heard and stuff like that, and you hear different people's sides of stuff like that. So it's
yes.
needed. It's definitely needed. So
So during like while you was in New York and doing different things with ABC, did you ever say to yourself like, man, I'm really doing this. I'm really like
mhm.
moving in this.
Yeah, when I decided, because I know the journey to New York was not easy. I know after college I did not get a job right away. I went through that post grad depression, what a lot of people say. So I was home like a year and a half. Yeah, like a year and a half. And I took a job as a teacher, and I'm like, you know what, I'm getting out of here. So let me just get my money right. So I was working as a teacher, and I was also working at the radio station at home too. But then they started doing layoffs, so I was just being a teacher, So I just was getting my money up and stuff, and I tell people all the time, I kind of took the cheap way to New York City. No jobs was calling back, and me being the person I am, I make a way out of no way, and that's always going to be me. So no jobs were calling back, and I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just going to apply to a grad school program there. I graduated from FAM with honors. I'm sure it's a lot of grad school programs that would accept me. you know.
Yes.
So I did a fashion marketing program at LIM College in New York, and I got in. You know, it was kind of one of those programs where, like, you know, it doesn't really take a lot to get in. You know, just make sure you have the foundation, because they're like, we want to give everybody a chance. Cool, but it's like the third best fashion school in New York. So, you know, whatever.
See, I
And
said, hold on. She flexing. See, that's a soft flex. That's a soft flex right there. Yeah,
it is. When I told her, I said,
it wasn't a
okay.
big school, but it wasn't really
It's the
hard to
third
get
best.
in. But it's like the
It
third
wasn't.
best. It's like, you know, it's a
It's
soft
like
flex.
FIT, and they got the Pearson School of Design, and then it's like LIM. But the thing is, LIM is private, and it is kind of expensive. So I think that's why
Mhm.
most people go to the other two. But I'm like, whatever. I said, okay, so they accepted me. You know, let me apply for my student loans or whatever. So I moved to New York, and I had an interview lined up with ABC when I moved there. You know, I
Mhm.
initially didn't get hired at ABC. They were like, no, we're gonna go with someone else. So I was like, cool. So I signed up to be a substitute teacher through this program and stuff. And so I'm just going on about my semester, my day. I started getting more into, like, you know, fashion week and stuff, and getting internships and offers and getting ready to do work with them, because I'm like, okay, I'll just change career paths, you know. That's one
Yes.
thing about being college educated. You do have options, you know, you will always have a lot of options. But I said, cool with me. So, you know, it's coming up on Christmas break. I was done with my school stuff, and I'm getting the kids ready to get out the door for Christmas break.
Yeah.
And I get this call from this strange number. It was a Philadelphia number, and I'm like, I don't know who has my number from Philadelphia, but I said, I'm not answering this. So they kept calling, like they called like three more times, and I answered, and they're not leaving any messages. And I'm like, hello, and they're like, hey, is this Raven? I'm like, yeah, this is she. And they're like, oh, okay, do you still need a job? And I'm like, what do you mean? Do I still need a job? And they're like, yeah, things didn't go right with the person we hired for ABC. So you were the next runner up. So can you come in? Like, we need you to start immediately. And I'm looking at the kids, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to ABC, because I don't, yeah, teaching. I want to shout out a lot of teachers. Shout out to you guys, because people don't understand what it is being a teacher and dealing with other people's children. It's a good job. They don't get enough credit. They should be easily making 100K as soon as they come out of school. Because it's
I think I've encountered you on one of DJ's posts. I think we've
Yeah.
had some correspondence.
yeah.
She
So
really doesn't post anymore though. I think she's been busy.
yeah, I have. But yeah, I'm just like, shout out to teachers. But I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting out of here. So I literally told the principal, I said, yeah, today's gonna be my last day. After Christmas break, I'm not
But
coming
he was
back.
like,
And
slow down. Like,
yeah, she's like, wait, what? And
can
I
we
said,
talk about it?
yeah. I said, my dream job and opportunity has come through, and I have to go. And she's like, well, what will you be doing? And I said, yeah, I'll be working for ABC and stuff. And she's like, the ABC, the news station? I said, yeah. I said, if you look on my resume and background, that's what I majored in. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. She said, go. She said,
Yeah.
so go. So after Christmas break, I went home, because I had already had plans to go home for Christmas, because I didn't know any of this was going to happen. But so yeah, after Christmas, like I flew back New Year's Eve after Christmas. I started New Year's Day 9 a.m. that morning. So that's how I got in to ABC and to news networks and stuff. So
That's pretty dope.
But this is at Missouri, correct?
this is in New York City.
Still in New York. Okay.
Still in New York, yeah. Hmm.
So how
Okay.
long did you stay
My
with
bad. I'm jumping the
up in New
gun.
York with
I
ABC?
was there a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I was asking my boss one day. I said, "Hey, can I start producing or helping produce?" Which he was, totally fine with me getting some practice in and stuff like that. And so, he told me one day, he goes, I will never hire you as a real producer. And I'm like, oh, okay, why? He goes, because you don't have experience in other markets. He said, if you stay away 4 years, 5 years, and come back, I'll hire you. And I was like, well, where am I supposed to go? He goes, just go to a smaller market and go get experience there. And he said, keep in contact. And when you're ready to move back to New York City, I'll hire you again. He said, but you have to have certain levels of experience to work in a New York market. He said, I know you can do it. He said, but it's going to take you forever to move up. He said, all these other people, they want to stay here, because, it is hard to leave New York City once you're there. It's hard. And because people look at me crazy. They're like, why did you leave New York City to go to St. Louis? I'm like, well, one, the money made sense.
Yeah.
And two, I'm doing it because, I need some more experience and stuff. And I'm not going to go one level up and it's like a $2 difference in check.
Yeah.
When I can go somewhere and it's a $30,000 difference in a check.
Oh,
I said, that doesn't make any sense. I said, I'm going to take the $30,000 difference. So I started just applying for jobs. I didn't really know where I was going, but I knew I was leaving because another thing is in New York, I got tired of living with roommates. Like I was like near to turn 27 at the time, and I'm like, I'm tired of living with roommates. Like we're grown. I said no, I don't want to live with roommates. And I loved my roommates in New York City. I did, but I'm like, I'm tired of living with roommates. I'm not doing this. So I want to live on my own. So I had a few job offers. It was a job offer in LA. They wanted $45,000 a year. I said in LA, come on now, like
I know they didn't offer you that.
Yeah, a news station there off. They were like, yeah, coming from New York, you'll be good. $45,000 a year. I'm like, and I have a cousin out in LA. I would literally have to live with him for like a year or two. And I'm
that's
like,
below
nope.
the poverty line.
Yeah, I'm like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a job offer in Milwaukee. I have a brother and some family in Milwaukee. Him and his wife live there. And I was open to going to Milwaukee because I knew the city and stuff like that. So, but they were like 47,000, and I'm like, y'all need to come up. Like I'm trying to, like I get it, but no, and
I mean, it's Wisconsin, ain't it? It's Wisconsin.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I would have lived fine on that, but I'm just like, and my dad told me he's like, don't worry, a job gonna come along and gonna be offering you more than 50, and I'm like. No, they're not. But okay, I'm gonna just let you, think what you want to think. But then St. Louis called me, and like, I'm not gonna tell you how much they offered me, but it was like 10 times over than what I expected. Right. So I tell people all the time, what God has for you, just go ahead and take it. Just go ahead and take it, and it's fine. I do very well, and I live real comfortable. So that's where I'm at now.
Let me ask you, what is production? What does that consist of? Being a producer?
Well, I'm a producer. So I do a show here called The Pulse, and then I do the 7 p.m. show here. So basically, and then I also work the desk. So I tell news reporters what stories they're doing, along with the executive producer. So we all get together, and I tell them what stories they're doing. And of course, if they pitch a good story and we agree to it, of course. And you go from there, and you basically build the show. The show is an hour, but I tell you all the time, I didn't realize how much goes into producing really until I actually started doing it hands-on full time. My show starts at 7, but I get to work at 11 or 12, and it literally takes that much time to build that show. Because imagine the show's here to start in 15 minutes, and you got your show together, everything's going smooth, but a woman gets in a car accident and her baby got killed. You have to cross out everything you just did to bring that story in, so it's a lot of, you have to be able to work under stress and pressure, and you have to be able to switch up stuff whenever you can. Yeah. So, but a lot goes into it.
What's the difference between an executive producer and a producer?
They get paid more. No, executive producers, they're the ones, they don't really produce any shows. They're just the ones really calling the shots.
Overseers.
The producer, the overseers. The producers, I would love to get to an executive producer role because I'll just be like, yeah, you do this, you do that, yeah. But producers, they're the ones who are actually putting together. Executive producer are looking over scripts, making sure things are, acceptable before they go on air and things like that. But I don't want to down their job, but they do more than people think, because when stuff goes wrong, it always comes down on your boss, so yeah.
So you're the person that's behind the cameras in the room, telling
I'm
which
in the
camera
production
angle.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the
camera one, camera
directors,
two.
yeah, the directors do that. I'm making sure my show goes how I imagined it to go or how I set it up to go.
Okay.
And making sure reporters aren't being prima donnas, which they could be, and it's just like we don't have time for that today. So,
So
yeah.
which part do you like most, in front of the camera or behind the camera?
I like both because I never dreamed of really being in front of the camera. I originally wanted to do radio because I don't like people to see how I look like that. If that
Okay,
makes sense.
that
I
makes
don't
sense.
I like people to hear my voice and I want them to say, I wonder what she looks like. Because when I grew up listening to Tom Joyner and the Tom Joyner Morning Show, when I very first seen a picture of
Yeah,
Tom Joyner,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. Everybody.
I'm like,
I think everybody did that.
I expected him to be some dark skinned dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
who is
Who
this?
is this
That
guy?
is not.
Yeah.
And Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey sound exactly how they look to me,
Yeah,
but
Ricky Smiley
Tom
do for
Joyner
real.
just doesn't. And I'm
Right.
like, you
Right.
don't look. And I've met him in person before, and I'm like, you look nothing like.
Everybody says that. I think.
But you do. But you had a good show. You had a great show, but radio is slowly dying out. Things like this, such as
It is.
podcasts, people
Right.
are getting their own stuff and their own ideas, and they're doing it uncensored, and you can talk about
Right.
whatever you want, which I am very proud of. But only thing with radio is that if your show's not like syndicated or just all
Right.
over, you don't
Yeah.
make no money like that. And the Breakfast Club people, they're not giving up their jobs no time
No time.
soon.
They just
At
signed a new
all.
deal.
At all.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
just signed a new
So
deal.
right. So my mom always told me, go where the money makes sense. Go where you make money at. If it comes a time where I could be on television and it makes sense, I'll do it. But people in the background make way more.
Right. And they probably last a lot longer.
They do, because I do 3 jobs in one. I know how to video edit and all. I do 3 jobs in one. Okay, if one job don't work out, I do have another skill to do this. But yeah, a lot of people on television, they last a
Right.
long time in TV news. But if you look over the entertainment news, they're switching hosts like
Right.
every other year.
Can
Because
I ask? Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
One favor. One favor. Uh, can you give us your news anchor voice?
I don't have a news anchor
Oh, come
voice.
on. I
I
know everybody got.
don't.
We'll be back with you at 1.
Did I? Did I have a? I think I had a radio one when I was. Well, okay. Yeah, when I was at
Radio
FAM, I
one.
had a radio one that was an intro because my radio name was Raven Got the Tea. It was
Okay.
like gossip. So I'll be like, hey, everybody, WANM 90.5. This is your girl, Raven Got the Tea. And I'm giving you guys the music, the latest news in Tallahassee. I'll tell y'all where Loose Kid gonna be tonight so y'all can hear what's going on in the streets. Boosie coming for homecoming. We got all this coming up. So I guess it wasn't really that much of a difference of a voice.
Nah. I think your natural voice is like a news voice.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Keith Sweat, when you hear him singing, he just so high. And then when he get on the
Right.
radio, hey, listen,
Right.
man, he don't even sing like
Man, you
that.
was just crying over here, man.
Right.
But go ahead, DJ. Oh, actually, we're gonna take a quick little break, and when we come back, we'll have more from Raven Gaines.
Degrees of separation connecting to the source.
If you want to represent your faith with your fashion, go to gospelgains.com. If you want to show your salvation on your sleeve, gospelgains.com. GOSPELGAINS. Type in the word degrees at checkout. You'll get a 15% discount on your entire purchase. We back, man. DJ, go ahead, take off one more time for us.
Yes. So we moving from fam, journalism, New York, Missouri. All right, now I want to want to hear about any other I guess ventures or endeavors. I think you had a hot sauce, a recipe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
my parents, they started a cooking business, a seafood business about maybe when I was a junior or senior in high school, so maybe 10, 11 years ago. So but this hot sauce, I always grew up making it. I remember I first tried it with my family when I was growing up. It's really good on seafood and stuff. And I first tried it and I critiqued it some, and I just kind of mixed it up. But my parents started selling it for their business, that they own it. So it is called Granny's Seafood Shack. The name of the company is Granny's Seafood Shack. So this is called Granny's Seafood Shack Gourmet Sauce. But it is my recipe, and I've literally been making this since I was like 10. So, but I highly recommend it with seafood, fried chicken, fish. Some people have told me they've tried it on salmon, burgers, pizza. My coworker told me last week pizza. I don't know where he got
Man,
that from,
you know what the
but
real test is. You
what?
know what the real test would be.
What?
Man, you gotta put that thing in some noodles, man. Some of them
Mm,
ramens, you gotta crack them things open and put them in some ramen, man.
right.
That'll be
But
the real test right there.
but yeah, I started making it. It's very good. It's more flavorful than it is like hot. It's like
Mhm.
the perfect. I just did that the other day. I describe it like me, more flavorful but a dash of hot.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I see.
More flavorful but a dash of hot. I get hot when it's time to, but it's more flavorful and a dash of hot. That's
I,
what I
I
love to say.
I like that because hot sauce. Look, I might have to turn in my black card. I don't eat no hot sauce, man.
Uh,
Now I ain't no real hot sauce person, but like a sauce like yours, I can. I like. I like flavor. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
More so than heat. I want to be able to taste my food, and
Yeah,
when I eat something, I don't want what I just ate to just contaminate my
overdo it.
drink and every other
Yeah.
thing else I eat. So I don't understand
Mm.
hot food or spicy because everything else after that gonna be ruined. You know what I mean? So I never understood it. So the sauce that you're talking about, which is yours, that's more my style, more my flavor.
Yeah, more
I like
flavorful than it is hot, and you will still taste your food on it. Like it
that's
doesn't
good.
overdo it. It's not a Tabasco. I know I love Tabasco and Red Hot. Those are my two favorite hot sauces.
Okay.
But I know Tabasco can be very overbearing. It's like, damn,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
but it's good. It really is good. And don't let the black labels fool you. It doesn't mean that it's caution for very hot. It's just very flavorful. I've got a lot of positive reviews back. A lot of people that I was college with at FAM, they've ordered some, got some. My family loves it on their seafood, their crabs. Like my family is very, very into seafood, so they love it on that. But I really love it on fried chicken wings. Like fried chicken
Okay.
wings is really
What's your
good.
family's background? Like ethnic?
Which is African American.
Okay. No island
Yeah.
or anything?
Nope. Slave
Okay.
trade black. People always ask that. They're like, oh, because I know when I was living in New York, and they're like, because I'm from South Florida, so there's a lot of Caribbeans like it is in New York City, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, are you Haitian, Bahamian, like that? I'm like, no, I'm just slave trade black. I'm just black.
That is
We just know how to
hilarious.
cook. We just
That's
Yeah,
know how to
man.
cook
hilarious.
very well. So, but yeah, it's
Slave
true.
trade black. That's
Slave trade
hilarious.
black.
Oh my God. I hope you don't
Charleston,
mind me
South
taking it. I'm
Carolina.
gonna have to borrow that, man.
Yeah, I borrowed it from somebody myself. And I'm
That's
like, that
hilarious.
makes perfect sense. But yeah, I come from a background of a lot of good cooking women. We pass down recipes from my grandma to my aunts. My mom left me all her recipes when she passed. So, we have I have a thick recipe book. And then I have 10 of my own recipes. So,
Oh, that's dope.
so yeah.
That's dope.
And this is being packaged and shipped out to what do you have them in like different stores,
Yeah, I have
different
them in
markets?
different stores in my hometown. My dad has been working like overtime to get a lot of them in stores. They're in 5 stores now in my hometown. The one I posted on my Facebook was just like a popular store that most people in my hometown know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they're in like 5 different stores, and my dad is trying to get it at this other store in Fort Lauderdale that he's trying to get it at. But hopefully I may can try to get something up here.
Mhm.
But I know up here in the Midwest, their taste buds are a little different sometimes. So you
Yeah.
have to move kind of different. But I've sold a few bottles here and gave some away, and they love it.
So what's that process of just packaging. Like, do you make it still, or do you have someone who?
Yeah, we actually went through before my mom passed a few years ago. We went through this company in Daytona Beach. They package our and bottle our hot sauces, and we came up with these little packages, like they're just in this red thing. Because my mom always said red is like a color that like people attract to. You know,
Yes.
such
Yes.
as like a
Yeah.
light green or something like that. So red is a color that people attract to. And but that company in Daytona, they bottle our sauces. So basically, we had to go up there, measure it all out for them, make them sign an agreement that this is not yours, it's ours. So anybody who's interested in that, make sure they do that. But they bottle it up, and basically, my parents said they wanted to bottle it for me, and gave me the money and let us get started with it. But this has been in the process since I was still living at home after college. This is how long it's
Mhm.
been. We just made our way around it in February to get it bottled. So,
It's a journey. Yeah, that's
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a journey. It's definitely a journey. Things don't happen overnight. That's what I am learning and stuff. Like, you look at all these ketchup stuff and all of that. They did not get in the stores overnight, and
Yes.
things definitely take time, so.
Was there any type of guidelines that you have to adhere to when it comes to having a sauce?
No guidelines. If you use like other people's, like if you use a certain ingredients that came from somewhere, just add that to your ingredients list that you used it. But they're not asking for anything for it because once you put it out, that's like if someone uses our hot sauce and mixes it with like a barbecue sauce that they created. Just put on there that you used our sauce and give us the
Right.
credit, and stuff like that, because
Really.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you use a ketchup to mix something, and you choose the bottle with, just say that you use that to into the ingredients. So
Man, it's crazy how like things like that work though, like
mhm.
somebody has already like a name is trademarked, and if you use it, it's like how would I don't know, it's like how would they even find out? Like would they just like how does that even work?
Well, some people can taste their ingredients
Wow.
in different people's stuff, So I mean, they can find out. You are supposed to say it, but that's why I tell people you have to, trademark your name. My parents' business is trademarked, so no one else can't use our stuff. So they
Yes.
they trademarked that very early on in their business. So yeah, but it's a lot. I tell people a lot. It's a lot that goes into running a business. A lot that just
Yes, ma'am.
putting stuff in a package and just mailing it off. If you want your stuff to go big, you have to. That's where the business background and the business knowledge comes into stuff because people think stuff is just so easy. I'm gonna start a business and package up stuff and
Yeah.
boom,
It ain't that easy.
Yes.
because that's what I was telling this girl on Facebook one time. I was like, hey, be careful with selling this. Like, they'll sell like Louis Vuitton shower curtains. Louis Vuitton don't make shower curtains.
Exactly.
Right.
Now
Exactly.
that I love that you're being creative, but if they really wanted to, they could sue you for using their name because they don't make shower curtains.
At
They don't
all.
make none of this stuff. So you guys really have to learn what trademark stuff is.
Right.
You can't
Right.
just be taking people's stuff and just putting your name on it. So that isn't legal.
A guy that gave me some advice for my clothing line. He has a clothing line, and he got a cease and desist letter from a particular company, and they said that his logo was there too similar to their logo. Even though
Mm.
I know exactly where he got the logo from somewhere, but it wasn't
He got
from
the
that company.
idea
He got
from
the
someone
idea
else.
from
Mm.
from a different. He got it from a food company. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
stuff is, you have to follow, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to follow things by the book. And that's what I learned a lot in my getting my master's in fashion marketing. Like, because I know a lot of women today, they like doing, getting into the hair and the eyelashes and the clothes and stuff. But, y'all aren't the creators of this stuff. You're buying them off of a site and you're selling them, which
Yes.
is fine. That's your hustle. But you're
Yes.
not a fashion designer or so because you do that. You are,
Yes.
you're just a second hand seller. You're the middle person type of kind
right.
of,
Yes.
It's a
but
lot
it's
of
not
money in that
yours.
area too. There's a
It is.
lot of
It
money in the
is.
area.
It is, but you have to do it correctly. Don't get caught up because it is easy to get caught up. So
What's his name in New York who was doing the Louis Vuitton stuff? They made him a partner now. He did a lot of stuff back in the 80s and the 90s.
he was working for them.
No, he was doing his like making custom pieces for like celebrities. What is his name? He's from New York. They just made him partner not too long ago. I can't believe his name. He did stuff with Mike Tyson and a whole bunch of like
But
drug
technically, he
dealers.
wasn't supposed to be doing. Oh, he was the one selling to all the drug. Like when you look back on the '80s and stuff and see.
Right. He would make
he was
custom
giving it to them.
pieces for like celebrities and stuff like that. And then
So
they
he was
just
altering their product.
yeah. He was
But
taking
he
it
wasn't. But he had nothing to do with the company.
nothing. But then he had a big
Clientele.
but they like sued him and stuff. But now they recently made him partner not too long ago. I cannot believe I can. I'm gonna
Sometimes you
get
have
his
to
name.
do what you got to do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, that kind of reminds me of like a guy who hacked I think he hacked like DARPA or something like that. And DARPA was like, look, we got to have this dude on our team, you know, because he's the
Oh,
real
I think I know
deal.
what
You
you're
feel
talking
me?
about. Like that was like a few years ago. Yeah, he was like a tech
Yes,
guy.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and they just was like, I'd
yes.
rather have him on my team than an enemy or something.
Exactly, exactly,
That's true.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
and sometimes
I
it
just
works like that. Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight you know, like man, you know, you bring up your father and you know your mother, you know, my condolences by the way. And you know, it's just so much like, you know, I hear how like they, you know, and I'm not taking I assure you I'm not taking away from you, you know, when I say this, but like, you know, I just hear like the support that they gave you and you know how like they kind of catalyzed and you know they were you know, there to just push you, you know, help you get that extra push or that extra support into, you know, matriculating from, you know, being you know, a young adult to, you know, a woman or you know an adult, you know, and that's real dope, you know, that you had parents that in your life that were like, look, you know, she believes in herself, I believe in her, you know, I'm willing to put this you know, the 7K to it. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's like she ain't getting nothing back, just experience, you know, but she believes in herself.
That's
So
a gamble. That's a gamble.
exactly.
It really is. Like, cause most parents have been like, "What? You better go on somewhere." But I tell people all the time, like, that's why I'm so big on like, you know, whenever I do get married and have children, like, I don't want my children. If I want to invest in them to do something,
Yes.
you just want them to
Right.
get the experience of it because
Yes.
you want them
Yes.
to be able to say, "Yeah, I did that." You know. And I told my mom was telling me one day, she was saying, you know, not all people can just go in their account and get $7,000 out
Right.
for
You're
an
so right.
internship for their child,
So
and they're
right.
not getting paid. They're not getting
Right.
paid. You know, so I'm definitely lucky and blessed that I had the parents and the type of upbringing that I had. You know, and I tell people, you know, I grew up going to private Christian school. I was in private school for the majority of my life. I went to public school 3 years for 9th, 10th, and 11th. But other than that, I was in private school for, you know, 2, 3 years. And how I grew up is how friends that I grew up with grew up. You
Right.
know, 2-parent homes and stuff like that.
Yes.
They were gonna go off to college and make something of themselves and da 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 da. It wasn't until I got to college where I just realized that it was going to FAMU for me was a culture shock. You know, I was never around that many black people, and that is the truth. And I love, but I always knew I was black. One of my friends tells me like, I don't get that you're like an Oreo vibe. I don't get that vibe from
Yeah.
you. And I was like, because my parents always let me and my brother know we're black. We just want you guys to
Right.
be raised different. But
Right.
we're always
Yes.
black. You know, growing up in the summertime, my mom would have me with her side of the family during the summer. When my cousins them ate noodles for dinner, I ate noodles too. You know, when they ate
Yes.
Popeyes for dinner, it wasn't no, oh, I want a ribeye steak, but while my cousin's eating noodles. No,
Right.
you eating
Yes.
noodles, and
Right.
if you're eating cereal for dinner, you eating cereal for
And
dinner.
some
It just
serious.
it is what it is. It is what it is.
French toast, please.
And when my and when my cousins came over, if we had some ribeye steaks for dinner, they had ribeye steaks for dinner. It just is what it
Yes.
is. But
Yeah.
my parents let us know that there's a difference. You always are humble and thankful where you come from, and you always reach your hand back out to help people and pull them up. If my family needs anything from me and I can do it, I'll do it.
Right.
You
You
know.
know, you the baby, so they was gonna take care of the baby anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they will take care
And
of
then
it.
they
Yeah.
had a lot of kids
At
before
night,
that too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know, you get soft to each kid, man. You be like, man, I don't even want to look.
Yeah.
Just you know.
Well, no, my mom had 2 kids. My dad has 9. He
man,
has the 9. Yeah, my mom has 2. He has the 9.
they was putting in
Yeah.
work. But
Yeah.
the dude name I was talking about is Dapper Dan. I know you heard of Dapper
Dapper
Dan.
Dan. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Dapper Dan,
Yeah,
yeah,
Dapper Dan. Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard of him
yeah. I
before.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that was doing that, and making dope pieces. You know what I mean? But they wasn't, authentic.
Yeah. He was
Uh,
catering to more of the Black culture.
right, right,
Yes, he
right. That's
was.
what he's one that really made Louis Vuitton popular in the Black culture. If it wasn't, they owe him. They made it right with him, but
Yeah.
at first it wasn't right with him because, but he made them a lot of money in the Black culture because he introduced that and made custom
That
pieces that
swag look.
that
Yeah.
swag, custom
Yeah,
pieces that they wasn't making
yeah.
for the rich and
I think
famous.
I think Tommy Hilfiger, one of the only people that don't owe the Black community an apology, because they just started wearing his stuff willingly in the 90s. He was just like, I didn't make this stuff for y'all, but okay.
You know
Yeah.
what? That is not the truth. That he did not say that.
He didn't say that.
That thing that
I
everybody
think what it was, he was more shocked because people were saying his look is more like a white East
Right.
Coast look. He didn't.
Yes.
You can buy it, but I didn't expect you to.
right.
I think
right.
that's what it was. Yeah, but he never said I didn't like Black people. I know what you're talking about. That
he
moment.
never said
He
that.
never said that. He never
But-
said that. But
but
he
like-
was shocked that they started wearing it. Like, it's like, what the heck? So
That's kind of like I ask people and I'm like, man, do you guys think that the creators of
Just blanked out. I think I know where you're going. Do you guys think the creators of something cares who buys it as long as they getting that money?
no, most of the time they don't care.
Yeah.
I think back in the day they did, but most of the time they don't. They definitely don't care now.
Right.
As long because I tell people all the time, to rich people, all money is just green. They don't care who buys it. I don't care if an illegal immigrant buys my hot sauce. I don't care what you got going on with the government. That's not my problem.
Yeah, that's
But have a good day. I'm not gonna help you do some illegal stuff, but I don't care if you buy it either.
right.
So
So let me ask you this: with the your news connections and all the networking you do in your journalism field, does that help you with your hot sauce?
yeah, because it makes it more easier to go up to people and talk to them and speak to them. Like I said before I went to college, I was just a socially awkward teen. So I would never go up to anyone and talk to them about anything. But yeah, doing this, it's okay to greet yourself, smile, and just sell yourself. You kind of get what I mean?
Right.
I wish I would have learned that a little earlier in life, but it's totally okay to just sell yourself.
Right.
Right.
And what do you see this hot sauce going for you?
I want it to be as big as Amazon is, if that makes sense. After a while, I want it to be able to be in a warehouse where we can employ people. They can package it up. We can package it up and bottle it in our own warehouse, and ship it out, mail it out, and do it that way. I want a whole marketing business team because it does get so tiring just doing it all. Some days I'm not even marketing the damn hot sauce. I'm just I'm tired. I worked a 10, 12-hour shift all last week, so I'm just I'm tired. But but you do have to keep going because, and I tell people too, it's okay to get tired. I'll take a nap in a heartbeat, and wake up and regroup, So yeah, that's where I envision it. That's the vision my mom had. So we're gonna try our best to keep it going and keep it alive for her.
Household name.
That. Yeah, because it's definitely good. It's definitely good.
I definitely got to get a bottle, man. I'm definitely going to shop with you.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to give up your career? Let's say if this hot sauce just boom, I'm talking about just boom. Would you be willing to be like, hey, you know what? I know I went to school, I got this degree, but the hot sauce is making me, let's say over 6 figures a year as of now. Would you be like, yeah, I'm done?
Yeah, I'll give it up and focus solely on that because I do believe a business has to make you way more than what you make. So
Yes.
yeah, I would definitely be willing to give it up and just be hands on with that, you know. And then also, once you hire your team and stuff to handle everything for you, I told my dad, I said the only thing I would want us to stay keep and watch on is the books, the money
Right.
books. Like
Yes.
I heard that from Oprah in one of her books that I think either every Tuesday or Wednesday she does like her books for her money to make sure people get their paychecks that Friday, everything. She makes sure everything is correct because I know some people they get so caught up in like the moment they forget to, hey, look at your books, and this is why the IRS is after you.
Right.
Pay attention to your own money. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Wow.
I told my dad whichever day we decide, we'll sit down with an accountant and do the books, and we'll keep it on moving. But yeah, I would be
We
willing to stop.
we got an in-house accountant if you need one. We got an in-house accountant if you need one. Yeah,
Certified.
certified. Yeah, yeah,
What is
certified.
it?
Yeah.
CPA?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
CPA.
CPA. Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So, and she went up to Florida State too. So it's kind of like a home
Oh,
thing. You know what I mean?
nice,
So
nice.
Oh
that's what
yes.
we do
Yeah.
at here at Degree of Separation. We just make connections. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You connect with DJ, you connect with me, and we connect you to the other guests that's been on here. And you know what I mean? That's how we're just trying to build a community. Not trying, but we are building a community of people to where we all can eat from each other and feed each other. That's what this whole thing
Right,
is about networking and communication. You
right.
know,
Hmm.
and you know, you are a go getter, man. And
Try to be. I try to be. I try to be.
man,
Sometimes I'm lazy, but I try to be.
hey, it's all right to take naps, man. One of these
Facts. Facts.
one of the podcasts I listen to, they say it's okay to be woke, but you got to take some naps sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just relax. I just came back from vacation 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, that was so well needed. That's why I do not
Yes,
care. Got to take a
yes.
vacation every few months, and I always tell people, I say, y'all not working the hell out of me. Like I told my job, and I'm like, yeah, I got another vacation coming up in September, and they're like, oh, you're still gonna take it? I'm like,
Most definitely.
yeah, the days don't roll over, so what am I gonna do with it?
Right, right.
So
I
They don't
understand that.
roll over.
no, mine
No,
don't. None of my sick days, no personal days, vacation days roll. So
they
I
cut
use
them
them all.
things.
They
December
don't.
31st, gone.
Yeah. Some jobs do like they let you keep like maybe 5 of them or so, but none of
Listen.
mine roll over. So
Listen.
I plan on using all of them.
If y'all hearing popping and busting going on, they start the fireworks already. So
Uh,
yeah, but we ain't gonna be too much longer, man. I understand that you got to take time off. Like I've said in previous episodes, I just took 2 months off my job because my wife, we just had our fifth child, so I
Oh,
took 2 months
nice.
off. So and when I came back to work, man, I could work a little bit better. I could work a little bit harder because I ain't so worn
Yeah.
out. I ain't tore up, man.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I still got another vacation. I say I'm taking my vacation in October for my anniversary. So hey,
Hmm.
deuces, like you better believe I'm taking it, man. So you got to
what you
take
say?
that
You going
time.
for 9 kids?
Huh? No. I'll tell you like this: you'll be there before I will,
You got 5. Yeah, I don't see why you can't have 10.
because my wife say no.
I originally wanted to have 6 kids when I was younger. I'm like, I want 6. And then I changed it to 4, and now I'm kind of like, 2 will do. It's whatever. Two
Yeah,
will
exactly.
do. Two will do.
Yeah,
Like
I
it'll
mean,
just
9 is that's old school. A lot of
Yeah,
children. Now
yeah.
4 and 5 that's that new school. Ooh, you got a lot of children.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have 10, 11, 12 children like they
But
used to.
my mom was the last out of 13, and my dad is the middle child of 5, so
You
they
got a
were
big
okay.
family. Big
Yeah, my
family.
mom's side is very huge. Yeah. So and all her siblings got children. So and grandchildren. So the family is huge.
That
That's a
that
big
is.
reunion, boy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody is successful in their own right and
Mhm.
doing good. I can just tell by the pedigree, by your pedigree, what your parents put out. And
Mhm.
like DJ was saying, that support. Just talk about that support a little bit more. Um, how it helped you, going through these stages of your life.
Well, you always have to have some type of support, but I think parent support is like the number one thing because you can have friend support, but no one's going to support you like your family and your parents and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. So it just let me know that anything I really put my mind to, I just know my parents are going to back me up with it. I always knew that. Like it didn't matter if I was doing art, wanted to jump off a building and skydive, they'll be like, "Oh, you go, sweetie, go," So it didn't matter. It was the support was gonna be there as long as it was always something good and positive to do. Right. If it was something dumb that was gonna hurt me or harm me, they would tell me no. And right. They would have their reason, to tell me no. So, yep.
Yeah, I like to tell my children no. I practice it.
I practice
it. But yeah, that's
I don't know where I would have been if I would have actually had the support. Like being real with, like when my 4 years at fam was like, or four. I had 3. My 3 years at fam was like.
But you know what I'm learning? Man, like it's hard for people to support you in college if they've never been, so they don't know like the stress. Like I knew so many people in college, like their parents or their moms would be calling and asking for their refund check. Like, why would you do that? That's for money for them to live off of, or at least half of the semester, and I have a little cousin that's about to go off to college. I'm definitely gonna make it my duty. At least send him $100 a semester. Right. I tell people all the time that even $20 in college goes a long way.
Who you telling, man?
It goes a long way. Like even you may not want to eat the food in the caf on Friday. Your $20 can get you some Chipotle though. And you just know how crazy. Yeah, and I knew. In college, I was lucky because I got an allowance in college. I got $150 every 2 weeks, so I got an allowance.
Oh, you was balling. You was balling.
Yeah. And then my parents, they sent me money for my gas money. They paid. My dad paid my rent. I didn't have my.
Oh my gosh!
You just worry about your schooling. That's it. And I got my $150 every other week.
Oh, you couldn't do nothing but succeed then. You had no choice.
Yeah, but I knew people who you get $150, bitch. I'm not even getting $50, and stuff like that. But now being my age, I was looking back at it, I was running through that money so quick. Like my daddy would put my money in my account Fridays, 8 a.m. That money would be gone by
Tuesday.
Sunday night.
Oh Lord.
No, Sunday. And then I got a little job online as like a copy editor. And that job was like below minimum wage, but I would get like $163 every 2 weeks. So I would get that money, and on top of that, on top of the money my parents were sending me. So when I would run, one day I ran down and didn't have no money for gas. My dad was like, "Oh no, that doesn't make any sense." He's like, "That doesn't make any sense." Because when I started getting that job, every Friday, no matter what, I would get some type of money in my account because it would be off days on when they would give me off weeks on when they would give me the money. So he's like, "That doesn't make any sense. How don't you have money for gas?" He said, "That doesn't make any sense." I'm like, I'm literally on E. If I crank this car up, it's gonna stop. Like it's gonna stop. Man. So he would have to send me $40. He's like, "I'm not doing this again. Like, don't do that." But I had to learn like to just be good with money. But in college, I was terrible with money. Like, fuck it, I'll get it back. Like, it was just,
that's the best time to be, especially if you're getting funded,
Yeah. So, I realized out of college, I was like, yeah, I was real blessed because I wasn't on any scholarships in college. My parents paid that too. I had no worries.
Your tuition was paid?
They paid my tuition. I'm not smart enough for no scholarship.
I don't believe it.
I'm not smart enough for scholarships. Like, no, they paid my tuition. They paid because
But I say this though, that is a testament to the elementary or the success of the elementary family, or as we know it, the nuclear family. Like
to being able to do that.
Yeah, like and it's stats that prove that over half of the children produced from that type of family are successful. Some people say hey, high earning, not it don't necessarily have to be high earning, but successful as in a functioning adult or functioning individual in society.
Right.
And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, I said the only thing I told my dad one day, I said I low-key wish you would have just kind of made us get like a job earlier on just to see. Because it was really like money don't grow on trees. Oh, okay. But It doesn't. You have to get out there and work. But when you're a child and you don't know and you just ask for stuff and it's given to you
Yeah.
most of the time, parents kind of created a space where there was no worry. I didn't have to worry, oh, am I eating today? Am I not eating today? Do we have food at the house? Yes, food at the house. Like I remember I came across this video on Facebook, the mom locking the refrigerator. I'm like, why the hell are you locking the refrigerator? They're like, your mom didn't lock the refrigerator growing up. Why the hell would she do that?
Yeah, that.
That's a
Everything
bit much.
everything in there is for us to eat. And if my
That's a bit
friends
much.
wanted to come over and eat, they're welcome to eat too. Like if my
Yeah.
mom was alive and we was doing this like if y'all came over to my house, my mom would have had like food laid out for y'all, like home cooked food. She wouldn't have
Right.
went and brought nothing. She would have made everything from scratch. Like it's times when my friends have come home with me for spring break, and my mom got oxtails, collard greens, macaroni and cheese, just waiting. Because
Right.
my mom knows like how hard it was being a college student, because she was that college student that when she was in college.
But
She
that's how it
had to
should
work.
be,
Yeah.
though. As a child and a young adult, you shouldn't have to worry about those things in life. Those should
Yeah.
just be there.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
he could, have taught you about money more. Not necessarily going to get a job, but just taught you the responsibilities of money.
Yeah.
But I said all the time, as a child, the only thing you should worry about is how much fun I'm gonna have and how I'm gonna have it. That's
Right.
it. You shouldn't be
And
stressing
grades.
and yeah,
Yeah.
you can get that. You're gonna get your grades if you are not stressed about eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Children come home and like like, and it showed during the pandemic when children were, they said some children are gonna go hungry because
They
there's no
don't eat
food
at
at the house. They
school.
only
Yeah.
eat at
Mm.
school. Some children are
Yeah.
gonna be abused
Yeah.
And I
more
saw
because
that when I was a teacher. I saw that when I
That
was
was
teaching.
bad, bro.
Yeah.
that's sad. That's
Mm-hmm.
sad.
Because the school
Yeah.
I worked at, 95% of the students were on free lunch.
Right.
And I'm like, what I started doing on Fridays when I would get paid, it's a pizza party in my classroom. And then whatever's left, please take it.
Right.
Because this one boy, he begged me, can I take some home to my brother and my mom? I'm like, sure, go ahead. Like, just go. And there was even a program through that school where they had to give them snacks going home because they don't know if that would be it by the time they come back. So it
Right.
is, it's messed up.
The
But you
school
got to
could have
help out
did
where you
better.
can.
They could have gotten the bus drivers and drove to bus stops and handed out lunches and handed out, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just bad. It's a bad place for where we are in this country, with some lives and some families like that.
I think
Mm-hmm.
certain counties did that though. Believe it or not, Peacock.
In New York, they did. They opened the
Okay.
Yeah.
schools up to get lunch and dinner and breakfast. Yeah, so it was all three.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
So-
say when Corona first like really popped off, they had buses like that would like stop and they would hand out everything that they had, and it blew me away because I'm like, man,
You really
where's
doing
the
this?
allocation of funds for everything? Like y'all did this. It's a pandemic. We ain't seen one in 10 years. Boom, like
Right.
it was just so quick to me. It was well
Yeah.
put together.
Raven, how has going through the pandemic? How has that affected you with what you've been driven and career based and even your entrepreneurial endeavors?
Well, the career didn't hurt me at all because I'm in news. I didn't get the opportunity to work from home, even when I was in New York. I
Is
Is
kept
that
going.
is that one of those
You're going to
industries?
work either way. You're
Yeah, it's
working
one of
either way.
those.
Yeah, even before I moved here, some of the producers had said they didn't work from home. They kind of just spread them out in the office. But they know with news, you got to be there. And if you work from home, it's so much stuff they have to do to set up in your house. It's not even
Right.
worth it. So we might as
Oh,
well
it's
just spread
invasive.
you out. Yeah, it's just might as well just spread you out or just give you a sick day or something like that. But the pandemic hasn't really hurt the hot sauce anything. We just started this in February, so it hasn't hurt anything. When the pandemic did first start, though, my parents, because they would go to different festivals and stuff and sell food, that slowed down, of course. But but they were in Florida. Florida didn't stay closed that
Yeah, we
long.
was wide open,
I
man.
know,
Yeah, they
yeah,
didn't
you know
stay
we
closed that
did.
long. So during the pandemic, I think they did like
Did they
3
eat
events.
clothes?
No, because they have they set up. So my parents have done homecoming a few times, so they would be behind Perry Street. So they have that type of setup. So they'll go to different events and set up. So yeah, it would still be events going on, and they would say. But I think that year of the pandemic when it really broke out, I think they did like 3 or 4 events. But that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
but it did go slow. It slowed down though. So,
Boy,
but
you
my
lucky
dad
I ain't
still
know
had to
you.
work. Yeah.
And when your parents was doing Perry Street, because I would have had to come and get me some like for real, boy.
Yeah, they
You had the
they
hot
did
sauce
that
back there
all.
too?
Yeah, they did it all 4 years. I was at school at FAM. Yeah, they did it all 4 years. And you know exactly where that money went.
To you.
Right to financial aid to cut that check. I mean, they would finish up on that Sunday. My dad will send them the check that Tuesday when he's at work. So it all,
Wow.
everything just, half went to that, half went back into the business to get more stuff. It's
Jeez.
It's
yeah,
the grind. Yeah.
yeah. So I tell people, I say, I don't want kids until I'm financially stable because I don't want them to work in college. I didn't have to work in college. I want them to, you want to go to the mall with your friends, go get something to eat, go ahead. But just keep them grades up. That's all I ask.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Most
Yep.
definitely.
Man, her
Well,
parents set a precedence.
yeah, straight up,
set up.
straight up, straight up, straight up.
They
And
tried. I'm thankful for them. When I was growing up, I'm like, it's so boring. We live in the whitest neighborhood. We're bored. I mean, it was cool. My neighborhood wasn't really. I'm not gonna. It wasn't racist. We all played with each other, but it was just like then you go to your cousin's neighborhood. It's a bit more. It's more black people.
hey, you
More
guys want
kids
to see a
outside.
dead body?
And my dad, like one day, he was like, "Oh, y'all want to grow up in the hood, huh?" He said, "Oh, like how y'all leave y'all bikes and scooters just in the front yard. That
Uh-huh.
shit'll be gone." He said, "All that'll be
Uh-huh.
gone." He said, "So what you better realize is how good you have it here and stuff like that."
Yes.
But I think it
Yes.
was more so we just wanted to be more around children, more children
Right, right.
who looked like us, because it wasn't that much children in my neighborhood growing up, but. The ones that were, they didn't look like us.
Man, it's
But
about y'all. Y'all got each other. Bump
but
them children.
we didn't all live in the same
Right,
household, but
right,
it's just you do want to see, different stuff.
right. Yeah, I
But
understand. I
yeah,
grew up in the
but
same type of conditions.
so
Mostly white. Only
but
black family out there for a while.
but looking up now, my neighborhood is so peaceful. It's just peaceful, and like people tell me like y'all probably could smoke weed back here. Sure can. The neighbor, he walks up the road smoking weed because police don't come back
Right.
there. And he
Yeah,
does it
totally.
without a problem. But in the hood,
Y'all
they
had
just
too much
ride
privilege.
through. They just ride through y'all neighborhood in the hood. You can't smoke a
Hold on, man.
cigarette without them
What's that
stopping
street
you.
address? I'm gonna send some.
Man, them the people that were so privileged, y'all ate off of their privilege. God
Right,
dang.
right.
That's
So you have to thank God and stuff for the small stuff. But I don't. My mom told me like a few months before she passed. She said, I'm not mad at the upbringing I gave y'all.
Right.
I'm glad everything y'all, whatever y'all wanted, y'all got it. My brother said one time, you didn't have to go buy new video games all the time it came out. She was like, then why the hell did you ask me to do it? He goes,
Right.
I don't know, but you really didn't have to do it. And she's just like, get out my face. Like,
Sure.
it's just we didn't miss out on anything. We
Right.
didn't miss
Right.
out on anything, and it was a blessing. And they definitely shaped me to who I am today. So
And that
that's
person that they shaped is a pretty dope person, man. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming and sharing your story with us. Go ahead and drop all your social media, let everybody know where they can find you at. And
well. My Instagram is I am Raven Gaines. Twitter is the same thing. And my Facebook is Raven A Gaines. And you guys can order the hot sauce at granny'sgourmetsauces.com. My dad, he sends them out within 24 hours. So, yeah, it's good. Eat it on
I'm
seafood, chicken,
yeah,
everything.
I'm definitely going. I'm finna go on there and I'm getting me maybe a pint. I'm gonna try a bottle. If I like it, I'm gonna go back.
Right. It's really good. You'll like it. Now, more flavor than hot. Like me.
Yes,
More
that's right
flavor than
now.
hot.
See, now my wife, she like that spicy hot stuff. And when we first got together, she was cooking all this spicy stuff. And I told her,
Mm,
I can't do it. I appreciate you. I thank you for cooking for me, but this spice is
gotta
not. Yeah,
mile it down some.
yeah. She love her spices, and so we good now though. And she be cooking the bomb, man. Her chicken already good. Now if I put this sauce on it, it's gonna take it up another
Yeah, I
level.
got some short ribs in the crock pot right now and collard greens I gotta cook. So I
Oh man,
might
yeah.
try it with. I
You're a
might
cooker.
try it to
Yeah,
see.
she a
Yeah,
cooker for real.
definitely. So I
That's
see.
That's what's up. DJ, go ahead. Let them know what's up.
Yes, y'all can find me at Daryl Sales, just like my name down there. DARYLLESALES. That's on Facebook, on Instagram, Daryl DJ Sales. And I also, I tend to frequent Clubhouse, but under the moniker of Shaman, and Peacock, man. I be seeing you in and out that thing, man.
Yeah, man. I hit you up, man. I said, bro, I don't know how you do it, my brother.
Hey, yes, yes, man. But it's good when the rooms are good. But once it get once it get in the uproar, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later. I hit him with the mouse.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, my bad. That's just Shaman and on Clubhouse.
All right, yeah, man. You can find us at Degrees of Separation on everything. That's DEGR of separation. Separation is one of the most misspelled words out there.
It
SEPARATION.
is.
Degrees of Separation at Gmail for our email. Degrees of Separation on Instagram. Degrees of Separation on Facebook. Degrees of Separation, all one word, on YouTube. And we may be 1 or 2 degrees separated from each other. But when it comes to God, there should be 0 degrees of separation, and we out.
Degrees of separation, connecting to the source.